everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, I'm Mary, I'm French, and I just turned 27. I have been to the States 8 or 9 times in the last 3 years. The least amount of time I stayed was 2 weeks, and the longest was probably almost 2 months. So that's a lot of meals, many meals. And today I want to share with you my favorite ones. So I have almost 500 videos on my channel. I cannot watch all of them to remind myself all this delicious food I tasted. So this list might not be actually accurate, but this is what I came up with when I was thinking of making this video. The first I want to share with you is shrimp tacos. The first time I even knew about it, learned about the existence of shrimp tacos was in Florida in 2023, summer 2023, when I was back from Glacier National Park. We went there with boyfriend and he was like, there's this restaurant, we really have to go back. I really have to go back. I want to bring you with me. Let's try it. Let's eat lunch there. And it was like, I'm taking this shrimp tacos. And I was like, shrimp tacos? Just so you know, tacos in Europe are absolutely not the same as what you guys have in North America or Mexico or something like that. It's very different. So first of all, I was like, that's a tacos? Okay. And then shrimp tacos. You're never gonna find any kind of fish, shrimp type of tacos in Europe. It's meat all the time. Maybe actually it's becoming a thing in Spain or whatsoever, but in France, not at all. So anyway, I was like, okay, I'm gonna order it too, I want to try it. And it was, let me tell you guys, it was so good, so good. And I think what I love the most about this tacos is the freshness of the shrimp. I think this is, we were like right by the ocean, so obviously you have really fresh shrimp, and that made the whole difference, I believe. And then they had a special sauce that is secret or something like that, so that definitely also added to this whole delicious tacos. And what I loved, I'm sure I videotaped it or even took a picture of it, but it was not too much. American food, to me as a French, just a European in general, it's a lot. If a meal is just too much food for me, it's just too much. And this was just the perfect amount. Not too much, not enough, not too much, not too small. Something like that, you know what I mean. And it was just perfect. And so it's a lot of little things that made this meal really good, and just also the fact that it was a novelty for me, shrimp tacos. And yeah, I honestly I'd love to go back and to have some again. Not long ago, I was in Minnesota this past summer actually, and I tried for the first time, and that has became one of my favorite meal I've ever had, actually, ever, my trips around this world. Elk sandwich. We were with Northern Danny. Where were we? And we were in Duluth. And we came back to this, I think it's a German or something named like this, I wouldn't know how to pronounce it, restaurant that we've been to already the last year, I think so. So when we came back to Duluth this year, we also came back to this restaurant, which is it's always crowded. It's honestly a really good restaurant. And I decided to try elk sandwich, and oh my goodness, that was so good. I had never tasted something, like that kind of meat before. Maybe I did elk. I've already tasted deer in France for Christmas a couple of times, but elk, it's different. It's not the same kind of deer anyway in the States and in Europe, whatever. So that was, that definitely tastes different. And just the whole sandwich was so good. So yeah, this is something I think I even mentioned in the video, I could definitely eat it every day. That was really good. Then there's this, it's something I've never heard of it before going to the States, chowder. So the first time I had chowder was in Boston, and it was clam chowder. I think that was it, the first time I ever had it, and it was really good. I was like, what is this thing? This is so good. And I kept eating it. It was like a comfort food for me. It was, warm and so tasty, like very tasteful, a lot of taste, and I loved it. And I had the a chance to taste a couple of different fish chowders in Minnesota, and also I do believe one or two in New Hampshire. I think so. So I had a couple of chowders here and there, and it is something if I could have a chowder every night, I would be the happiest girl on earth. It's really is like a comfort food for me, just very warm and very tasty. So it's something I just never heard about, at least in France. Even when I was living by the ocean, I was like, it's not a thing. So that was a good very interesting discovery for me, and it definitely has become a favorite food for me over time. Then this is very peculiar, a gator po' boy. I first tasted a po' boy in Minnesota. Then I first tasted gator in Louisiana, obviously. And the first time I tried gator was in a restaurant. So we were obviously with Sal and Danny, and I tried fried gator, like bites, gator bites, and it was really good. I loved it, but it was fried. So it's not like you got the real raw taste of it, right? So a couple of days later, I was by myself in New Orleans, and I was around this French market stuff, and there was this really nice restaurant. A jazz group was playing. It was just so dreamy. I was like, I'm just gonna get a lunch here, and I gotta get a po' boy, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And a lot of people say gator tastes like chicken, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't know what to compare it to, but it's gator, it has its own taste, and I really loved it. And just the po' boy in general, I like this kind of sandwich, and you add gator to it, and it's definitely one of my fave. That was the next one that I'm still thinking about it nowadays, is the Kansas barbecue we had with boyfriend on our first day in Kansas City, back in, I think that was last year's summer, 2024 probably. I don't know. I'm making so many trips over there that I don't even know. I think that was it. That was last year. We just wanted to check out the city for a couple of days, and we did. It was so hot. I remember it was just so freaking hot. I had a hard time, and we were starving, so we went to the not the first restaurant, but a good restaurant that was, had really good reviews for barbecue. And we went there, and we had, first of all, we had a blast because the whole vibe was awesome. Then I remember our waiter was really nice. And then the barbecue, we had two different plates. I got something different from my boyfriend, but still similar and all that. And on each plate we had different type of meat. I wouldn't remember exactly what it was. You probably know better than I do, but it was awesome. The sauce was awesome, and that was the best barbecue I ever had, honestly. So I do want to go back. And I know I see you coming, all my Texas viewers. You gotta come, you gotta taste. We have the best over there. Well, I'm not saying no. I do check out Austin hotels from time to time, but it is expensive. So I will make it to Texas at some point, and I will try Texas barbecue. But for now, Kansas barbecue is the best I ever had. Okay, now it's a little different. It's not. It's something I tasted in a chain restaurant, but that very, very rapidly, as soon as I tasted it, I was like, yeah, this is one of my favorite food ever. It is, how is it called? I call it a comfort food because that's what it's supposed to be. Chicken and dumpling. How could I even forget about it? Chicken and dumplings. And I first tasted it in Cracker Barrel, which is now one of my favorite places to eat, one of my favorite fast food or whatever chain restaurant. I really, really love this place. I really love their gift shop that you have to go through before going to the restaurant. And I just like the vibe, like the music they always have, like all of those food. I'm pretty sure it's like super processed food whatsoever, but it's really good. So yeah, I first went there with my friend Guillaume. when he was showing me Nashville and Tennessee, and we stopped at one, and I remember some of his family came and we had a really nice warm meal all together, and I tried this. They were like, oh, you gotta try it, it's like, it's really good. So I was like, okay, let's try it. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is awesome. It's same like a chowder. It's really warm, really tasty. It just feels you right, and you just want more. And like chowder, if I could have this every day, you know, at night to warm me up and all that, that would be really, really cool. So I had the opportunity, this is a difficult word for me, to try it again a couple of times in Cracker Barrel, different Cracker Barrels locations, and I just always loved it. And I honestly, next time I'm coming back to the States, I'd love it. Especially, you know, I mean, if it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be perfect. Just have some chicken and dumplings. So yeah, that's one of my favorite for sure. Last but not least, and you're gonna laugh at it, you're gonna be like, what? But I never had it before trying it last summer. I think that was in Pittsburgh with boyfriend, right after doing some mini golf, if I'm not wrong. We went to a Dairy Queen. That was not my first time going to a Dairy Queen, but that was my first time trying a strawberry sundae. I never had one. Maybe we have it in France. I don't go to fast food or stuff like that, so I wouldn't even know. I was amazed. I was in awe with this strong strawberry taste. And it's just, you know, it's a sundae, so it's a nice cream, and it was really good. And I was like, this is like, each spoon I was taking, I was like, this is so good. And it was hot too, so that definitely had added to, you know, the good taste of it, the appreciation, I guess, of this whole experience. But I do know that since then I've been really wanted to have another one, and I actually all want to my boyfriend, because I lost mini golf another time, so I owe him one. So I have a good excuse to get myself one too. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite. I don't know, we don't have Dairy Queen in France. I don't know if any other fast food place here do one. That wouldn't be the same anyway, but maybe I can try to find some. So that's it. I'm sure when I'm gonna be editing this video, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even mention this food or this this meal. But like I said, I've been to the States a couple of times. I've stayed many days, which means many meals, many food. A lot of food, much food actually. Yeah, anyway, a lot of food. So yeah, it's kind of hard to remember. It's impossible for me to remember every meal that I had. But some of them, like the one I shared with you, definitely had an impact on me. Like, oh my gosh, I wish I could eat that every day. Let me know what are your favorite foods in the States. And if you're living in the States or an American, if you've been to France, for example, let me know in the comments which are your favorite French food that you've tried and that you'd like to have, maybe not every day, but from time to time. I would love to know that, and it would be interesting also because, I'm sure my last one, for example, strawberry sundae, you guys were probably like, wow, this is just so common, like what? But for me as a foreigner, it's like, oh, this is so good. So I'm sure I could have interesting comments from you guys in the comments. So yeah, that was a lot of comments repeated. Stay tuned for the next video, and if you like this video, please leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, if you still didn't know, I launched a website earlier this year. On it, you can find all of my videos from Frenchtastic Explorations and some of them from my first channel, Frenchtastic. So this is the main page. Please scroll down, click on everything. I made different sections, different categories. I gathered everything around the USA, Europe, and other sections. So I think it's a lot easier than just going through my YouTube channel and the playlist. So if you're looking for more videos from Frenchtastic, you can definitely check the website.